The road to Blackmere has always felt like a place people pass through, not somewhere they arrive, but Mara Vale returns anyway, drawn not by memory but by something quieter and far more insistent. The house stands where it always did, staring out over the cliffs like it's been waiting, not abandoned but patient, and when she steps inside, the silence doesn't greet her, it studies her. Nothing moves, nothing breathes, and yet 3 candles burn steadily on the dining table as if time never touched them. Their flames lean, not with wind, not with logic, but toward a single empty corner, as though something unseen has already claimed its place in the room. Mara feels it before she understands it, that subtle wrongness pressing into the air, the sense that she hasn't entered an empty house at all, but walked into something already aware of her presence. And somewhere above her, a floorboard creaks, not loudly, not suddenly, but with the careful weight of something that knows exactly where she is. Eli Rowan arrives with the same grounded certainty he always carried, the kind that usually pushes fear aside, but this time even he hesitates as the house reveals its quiet defiance of explanation. There are no signs of intrusion, no broken locks, no footprints, but there are traces, small impossible details that refuse to belong to anything ordinary. A damp smear where no water should be, matches standing upright like they've been placed in ritual, and a journal that reads less like memory and more like a warning left behind for someone who would one day understand it too late. As Mara turns each page, the words tighten, shifting from observation into desperation, describing something that doesn't enter a room but waits to be noticed within it. The candles become more than light, they become direction, pointing toward something that cannot be seen, something that does not move unless it is acknowledged. And when the flame bends, is acknowledged. And when the flame bends again, sharper this time, both Mara and Eli realize the same thing at once. The house isn't reacting to them, it's responding to something else. Inspector Tamsin Greer listens without interruption, her silence sharper than disbelief, because what Mara describes isn't unfamiliar, it's unfinished. The name Jonah Pike carries weight in Blackmere, not because of what people know, but because of what they've chosen not to remember. Files resurface, stories align too precisely to dismiss, and the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Disappearances without struggle, witnesses who recall heat where there was none, and always the same detail, candle flames bending toward something that no one could describe, only feel. When the station loses power and darkness settles in, it doesn't arrive as absence, but as presence. The candles are lit, one by one, and every flame tilts in perfect unison toward the closed office door. No footsteps follow, no shadow appears, just 3 deliberate knocks breaking through the stillness. In that moment, the past doesn't feel distant anymore, it feels like it's been waiting for someone to open the door again. The Lighthouse Archive holds more than records, it holds the residue of everything that was never resolved. Dust-covered shelves and fading paper conceal a story that never ended, only paused, waiting for the right moment to continue. Ada Voss's letters speak of fear that sharpened over time, of a man unraveling as something invisible began to orbit his life, feeding not on presence, but on attention. The more it was noticed, the more it defined itself, not as a shape, but as an absence that behaved like one. The ink breaking suddenly, as if the moment itself had been interrupted. And then she feels it, that quiet exhale just behind her neck, close enough to belong to a person, but wrong in a way that makes her blood run cold. The candles shift again, every flame angling toward the same empty space, and for the first time, the silence in the room feels occupied. The storm outside doesn't feel like weather, it feels like pressure, building against the house as though something inside is pushing outward to meet it. The walls no longer hold quiet, they hold intention. Every candle Mara lights becomes a signal, pointing deeper, guiding her not away from danger, but toward it. Lenora's final message unfolds with chilling clarity. The presence doesn't arrive, it transfers, moving through attention, through awareness, through those who see it and try to understand it. It does not hunt in the way living things do. It waits, patiently, until it is given shape by the fear of those who notice it. And now it has noticed Mara. The house shifts around them, doors slamming with unnatural force, the air turning cold and heavy, and in one corner of the room, Eli stares at something that isn't there but somehow still is. The candles lean harder, sharper, and the realization lands with quiet certainty, this isn't something they can escape. It's something that has already chosen them. The tokens are placed one by one, each step through the house tightening the invisible pressure around them. Movement becomes survival, because stillness is no longer safe. The presence doesn't chase, it settles, filling the spaces where hesitation lingers too long. Eli nearly disappears into that stillness, standing motionless before a clouded mirror as if something has reached him without ever touching him. Tamsin hears footsteps that match her own, perfectly timed, just out of sight. And in the cellar, Mara watches footprints form in dust where no one stands, each step appearing without origin, as though something is learning how to exist by imitating them. The truth unfolds with terrifying precision: this has never been random. It has followed a path, returning again and again to those connected to the first disappearance, feeding on memory, on recognition, on the quiet inheritance of fear passed through generations. And now, it has come full circle. Mara stands at the center of the room not because she wants to, but because she understands that she must. The candles begin to bend inward, every flame aligning as though pulled by a single breath, and the air thickens until even silence feels heavy. The presence reveals itself not as a figure, but as a possibility, a shape that shifts depending on how it is seen, becoming familiar, becoming known, becoming something it is not. It offers recognition, invites belief, waits for acceptance. But Mara refuses it. She names the missing not as part of it, but apart from it, breaking the illusion it depends on. Around her, the light keeps moving, never settling, never allowing the presence to anchor itself fully. And then, in a moment so quiet it almost goes unnoticed, the pressure collapses. The shape unravels. The silence returns, not occupied, not watching, just empty again. When morning comes, the house no longer feels aware. The candles burn straight. And for the first time in decades, nothing unseen is waiting to be noticed.